Just as a general observation, the idea of everything is separated is a construct of the mind. It is thinking you are separate. Okay, so how do we make life, or starting with the body, sensing, feeling that it is connected? That means I must understand, is the breath something that is separate from me? Or is the breath actually an integral part 24/7, but I view it somehow as a separate entity? So it is not. And therefore, when I do physical movement, moving the joints, tensioning, contracting the muscle, releasing the muscle, making use of the joints, let's say, how does the breath actually connect or interact at the same time with the kinetic movement of my body? And this is where we talk about, sounding a little bit philosophical, but the connection between what you view as the outside world and what is inside of you, your thoughts, your emotions, all of this. The link in between there, it's the breath. It's like the breath is that element that travels from the outside into the inside, exchanges, travels back to the outside. It is what links us to this world. Then, if you want something to function, it needs energy. You have a car or you have an engine, and that engine is supposed to create some output. It needs something that can be burned, which can be gasoline, and you have oxygen, which then go into the combustion chamber. If you have an oven, you have something to burn, wood or coal, and you have oxygen in order to start generating the heat. In order for our physical body and our organs, our brain, everything to function properly, we need energy. It is the food and the drinks on the one side that we take to us, and it is the oxygen and the air that we are inhaling. In the car, you can optimize the way of your air intake. So what about optimizing your own human being air intake? Because it's not just about inhale, exhale. How long do you inhale? How long do you exhale? How about the volume of your breath? What about the duration of between inhalation, exhalation? So there are many variables where you can actually start improving the way of how you breathe. So, and now one example, because people nowadays are overly tense because they don't know that they carry tension inside of their body, the breath oftentimes becomes very, very shallow. It's not a deep breath. So it's a shallow breath. It is low volume of intake, which ultimately translates into your energy system inside of the body is not working at a level it could work, which is resulting in all different types of anomalies that you as a normal, healthy human being shouldn't have. So, and once you have become very, very subtle with the way of how you are able to regulate the breath, then comes the next step, which is you combine the breath with your movement. For example, right now, we can just do together.
Yes.
Just stay here with the body upright, just palms facing upwards. Inhale through the nose. Turn the palms, relax the shoulders, relax the chest, exhale. Also through the nose. Okay. In. Out. One more time. In. Out. Now I can do a same inhalation, but the movement becomes a bit bigger. I inhale, 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 still in, all in, all in. Now out. Then first movement, just inhale back. This time when I exhale, I just exhale to the side. I inhale, bring it back to the center. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale. So now you feel that slowly, the more you start to practice this, inhalation, exhalation, in, out, in,
wow,
out, in, out, in, out. So at some point, the breath and the body start to move in harmony.
I could feel that.
Yes. So, and this is where in the field of martial arts, we talk about that now when this type of connection starts to happen, energy, breath, and body start to work now together. Whatever your body is doing, it's not doing it superficially. It's doing it also filled up with the proper energy.
Oh.
No. We do have, let's say, guests or visitors that meanwhile have become really friends with the whole idea. Yes. But at the end, it's really just about, it can happen that something about the perspective you understood there, you suddenly take it home to wherever you found yourself. You live exactly the same life. You do exactly the same things, but something is still different. Because you suddenly start to see different elements, different layers of where you have been there all the time.
Yeah.
So, and this is exactly like what all of this is about. Sometimes in this world is driven so much in terms of there's always something to attain. You need to travel somewhere to get something.
Yes.
You need to do something to get something. But the nice and very, very comfortable, for me at least, this tradition has never been about getting something or achieving something. It's about learning what is it that, since we entered this world, started trapping and covering us up so that we don't see what we have been there all the time.
Yes.
So it is not about you come to me and I give you something. I don't give you anything. It is about I try to give you a perspective for you to let go of something where I might think this is what you don't see. But well, I do think that letting go is not just the most difficult challenge like for you. This is the challenge. This is literally the challenge. Yeah, because you can right now already start living a way of life where in a way, if something comes, you appreciate it. Yeah, you make use of it, you enjoy it. But once it leaves, you try not to get attached to it. Yeah, you don't get attached to it anymore. At the same time, it means you can live a life and start collecting. You're collecting something. In the wish of what? The fact is, mention it also, we come with nothing, we go with nothing.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, that also means the more you are living your life right now in the mindset of getting, building up, attaining, collecting, there will come the time, like I said before, you had the chance already to recorrect the way of your lifestyle. But ultimately, it will come that this universe is going to recorrect your mind.
Yes.
And this, saying it like precisely it is, when the day comes and the body falls away, and you're passing away together with everything you thought you could keep.
Yes.
It's also going to go away. And now let's say I would call it a fact, but it might be also just an idea. Just as we don't only transmit biological or physical information, we also transmit information, mental, emotional transformation. When your body passes away and you still had the mindset of collecting, you will still be faced right now in that moment. It just is gone.
Yes.
You have just lost everything.
Yeah.
So, and I could imagine that this is a quite terrifying and very unpleasant state of mind, state of spirit that you would find yourself in. A confused spirit.
Lost.
Because why? Because you just lost everything.
Everything, yeah.
So this is why along the lifetime now already, if you work on your spirit, if you work on your way of life, knowing, okay, at the moment I have the possibility to afford something that for many years I actually like to do, okay, I will do it. But at the same time, I also know I won't take it with me.
Yes.
I enjoy it right now, but I know already I won't take it with me. So the relationship, the foundation of why did you chose this became a way more conscious decision than just like running after something, and the foundation of why you did it is just something not aligned. And this is the whole thing, where people also sometimes misunderstand, thinking that I live in the forest and like possess in a way nothing and am very simple. My life is very simple because every decision that I take is a conscious one.
Yes.
I don't want to have like confusion in my life.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that you cannot make use of the beauties and the possibilities of everything this life offers you. Yeah. Well, to make it short, I agree with you that it's really exhausting, but this universe has ways. And this type of behavior is not sustainable. The main part is for the ones that feel like being manipulated, that feel like that your life is being run by somebody else, something else. No, but this is exactly the reason why that whole thing, again, you don't need to, but I would suggest you invest some time in starting to really discover what do these ancient traditions, what does partially modern science, what do they say is the essence of what you're supposed to do in this lifetime. Find out who or what you are. This is number one. Because if this is already the wrong perception, you are simply going to identify yourself with something that in essence you are not. Trapped in an illusion and trapped in the cycle of suffering. This is what it's called. This is how it is expressed. It is about right now finding ways and taking the responsibility back into your own hands, and this approach of everybody in this world is responsible for my misery is not working. It's not working. And at some point, when you don't stop with this, I do think you are on the wrong path. But in the moment where you really start reflecting, okay, I'm in this current situation right now. Is there a possibility that maybe it's really my doing? It has been my decisions. It has been my behavior. It has been my way of how I lived the past that I'm here. Of course, also including some circumstances maybe. But still, there is your part also that led you to the situation where you are right now. So if you don't see life as this, then the main question is, okay, so you ended up where you are, unhappy right now, but you say you didn't do it. So who you want to blame right now? And what does it ultimately mean? It means that the last 40 years, who was running your life then? And the point is, self-mastery means we are all students, but there is the hope, there is the faith, there is the possibility that there is something residing inside of you that you can bring out. That master. And yeah, this is what I would like to encourage more and more people to understand, that you don't need to travel the world and look for somebody above there and worship them. You should, in a way, bring out your own best version or the master. Be very aware who are you letting into your circle, and ultimately rely on yourself and maintain your Sorry to say, but it's the heart. Maintain the purity of your intention. It's not that I became numb. No, I just feel there is an additional layer that I can observe about myself. It is painful, but it's okay for right now. For me, I'm really, really happy uncertainty is existing in this world, because I cannot imagine how boring it would be if I would already know with certainty where I'm going to be in 20 years. A certain amount of self-control, a certain amount of discipline. You don't let your emotions run over you. Even if something makes you angry, it's not honorable. It's not respectful to now shout out. You shouldn't do it. Be able to maintain your emotional states, maintain your temper, at least to a certain extent. This is where I would say it comes to self-control. In the Shaolin traditional texts is broken down into 14 different virtues. The virtues of action. What does it mean, virtues of action? It is, how should you behave? Behave in a loyal way. Behave in a trustful way. Behave in a respectful way. Behave in a courageous way. This is the how should you do something. The virtues of mind, for example, they say, what is it that nourishes the way for you to put the virtues of action into practice? How can you learn to behave respectfully? Because naturally, if people like insulting you, you don't behave respectfully towards them. So how can you still behave respectfully, still be loyal to people? How do you do it? And this is where it then comes to the virtues of the mind. To really learn to be patient, to really know what does it mean to be persistent, to persevere during your training. Yeah.
If someone asked you which religion do you follow, what would your answer be?
I would call it the religion of oneness. The religion of oneness. The religion of, I do believe that we are connected at some way. And it is my journey. I don't want to just intellectualize it. The path is to lay out and remove all the friction and all the obstacles to just realize that it is like this. If I wished that I would have lived this life and I just have joyful and pleasant moments. No regret, no sorrow, no fear, nothing of that. The reality is not like that. The reality is that every human being at some point is facing all of this. But I used to think I would never arrive or be at the place where I am right now without all the things that happened in the past. Because at some point, the sorrow or even the regrets, they have been so painful in a way that I was left only with two choices. Number one, you learn from what went wrong. And number two is a very hard part. It's the part of learning to let go by forgiving. Forgiving two areas. In case somebody is involved, you forgive the one that is involved, but foremost, you forgive this one. We always think about how should we forgive like other people, which is already very hard, but it's even harder to sometimes forgive yourself. But you can't move into the future. You cannot move on if you still carry old baggage inside of you. And this is where I feel like it must be learned. Maybe people take it as normal to live a life and keep regret and keep frustration and keep all these things inside of them and not heal it, not let it out, not express it, not learn a way to get rid of it. Yeah, but at the same time, I also believe this is the reason why people suffer from so many different type of diseases at the same time. Because there is some type of, I call it now in my terminology, there is energy locked inside of you that wants to be expressed, but you suppress it. And this is why it has to find a way to make itself heard, which can be a sickness, which can be cancer, which can be all type of mental diseases that nowadays I think this society has a lot of it. That is the letting go part. Progress, meaning setting goals, achieving something, doing something. The quickest way to not waste lifetime is when you really set up a schedule and just do the work. Free from how you feel. Because also feeling sometimes, you wake up one day, you feel this way, you wake up the next day, you feel another way. And it's just not helpful to base your structure or your goal on how you feel. Discipline, meaning you stick to what you put there on paper. You take your time, you make the plan, and unless you really are sick or have some type of higher excuse, you just do what you have committed to. And this struggling of, there are still so many distractions every day coming up. No, but you stick to the plan. You stick to your plan. This is what I feel like is a part of discipline, to do what you have committed yourself to. It's the one area. And at the same time, discipline also meaning you don't do the things you already know are not good for you. Discipline is not just about the active part of doing something. It also relates to the passive part of leaving the things out of your life where you already know it's not going to help you. Both of these areas is, let's say, discipline. Focus for me is the ability to mobilize your energy. Energy maybe doesn't tell anything to the people. Your intention, your mind, your awareness. Let's say I need to do some type of work. I need to write an email. Simple. The quickest way, most accurate way to write this email is if you are completely with your awareness, you are focused in writing this email right now. You don't look at the mobile phone at the same time. You don't listen to music. You don't watch another television show on the screen. You don't eat something at the same time. Your focus is on that one task. Because your focus is on that one task, this is why everything that you are made out of can flow into whatever you are creating there. You don't do like the bench press and do something for the legs at the same time. It doesn't make sense. To mobilize energy means to know exactly where am I focusing my attention, and therefore where attention goes, there the energy flows. This is what focus means for me. If you want to create something, it's better to know where does your attention go. It's not that you are like walking this path and then you are like becoming superhuman or anything like this. It is very, very simple. You just become less compulsive and less reactive to whatever is going on in this world. Because this is where I felt like at some point, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to be driven by what is going on out there in the world. I don't want to be driven by what is happening out there where I feel like I have no influence on. It can be the decision of the governments. It can be the decision of whatever is being propagated in this world, which is ultimately affecting me. And I just didn't feel like I want to be dependent on external circumstances. Because this just doesn't feel like my life is in my hands.
How can it be that people around me, circumstances around me, that I literally have really no influence on? How can it be that all of this is influencing my life to such an extent that it makes me suffer, that it is frustrating me, that I feel depressed about it, that I feel angry about it, that I feel sad about it? At some point, I just felt like it's very unstable. And so I started to ask myself, how come that I cannot manage myself in a better way? And this is where now all this so-called inner work starts to take place, where the self-mastery takes place. You are not trying to solve the issues of your government. You are not trying to solve the problems of your neighbor. The first thing you try to solve is everything that is able to trigger you to not be at ease with how this life is. What is the ultimate outcome of starting to invest some time in yourself? I would say you are getting more at ease regardless of what is happening on the outside. It doesn't mean you are becoming more ignorant to it. That is also a misconception. It is just the fact that the world around you, everything is like still in turmoil and everything is still burning. But because you are at ease, because you have become more stable, at least in this burning surrounding, you can now still be the guide to help the people out of the house. Because if you lose your temper and if you are getting stressed when the house is burning, who's going to guide the way? And this is how I felt my life was also slowly developing, in the sense that if I really feel like I would like to contribute something to this world, to this society, then it can only be done if I'm already at ease and with peace inside of myself, that then I can carry out in the world. Mostly, I just try to encourage people, do something with your body. Just do something with your body. Whether it's Qigong, whether it's some stretching exercises, whether it's Kung Fu, whether it's Tai Chi. So it was something physical in the first place. But the whole idea was not only to make the people move. This was just like the beginning. But what we need is awareness. What we need is awareness. If you're already not aware of this body, it becomes even more difficult to be aware of what goes on in your mind, what type of traumas you carry inside of you. If you're not even aware of your own body, something physical, something that you have every day in front of the mirror, how can you become aware of something that is so deeply rooted inside of you that you just can't even see it so easily? So the whole idea of emphasizing physicality, I would say, is the first step to begin the path of becoming aware. With this awareness now, the journey hasn't ended. The journey has just begun. Because it's this awareness now that we need to use and actually start now looking inside ourselves. Yeah. But exactly in the areas that for many years maybe were hidden there, consciously hidden, or sometimes unconsciously hidden, areas that we ran away from, that we hid it, that we somehow started to cover up because in the past they caused us too much pain, too much irritation. But I do think that at the same time that there is no other way to really clean yourself up than really looking at all the stuff that's hidden inside of you. I didn't want to say shit, but sometimes there's a lot of it. Yeah, and how do I know? Because I know, because I had to do it myself. So it is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable to, at some point, start to realize what type of stuff, dark stuff, negative stuff, have you yourself, me, myself, done in this lifetime. But only after you really see it and you recognize that it was wrong, after you repent, then comes the freedom. I think that there are many ways how you can, let's say, motivate yourself to walk this path. So why would I face the dark side of myself knowing already that it's going to be painful? Why would I do that? So there are many ways. Me, from the area of the martial arts, I just know every time I suffered in the training, afterwards, something really good came out of it. Same is like every time you face a challenge that was really, really difficult for you, but you still pushed it through somehow. You still were patient and persevered and were consistent and still tried. And this type of challenge, for me, was a way bigger victory than anything that was easily attained. So literally saying nothing sustainable and worthwhile in this lifetime comes from something that's easily attained. It's the same that you find plenty of videos right now. Face your shadow, face the dark side, look at your demons. It's all that. I can only say that from the way of how I grew up, and after 38 years right now being on this way, yes, I do think that's the way.